Dr. Vokes is excited to show you how to install a limited slip differential kit on a VW DSG transmission.
Hello everybody, my name is Bob Mann, owner of drvokes.com. I specialize in Volkswagen Audi repairs, tuning, and racing. We campaign real Volkswagen and Audi in road racing. We're going to talk about the DSG. The problem with the DSG and the Volkswagen Audi platforms, there's no posi in it, no limited slip. The only way to do that is to buy a Pelican or a Wave differential. Somebody has to take the transmission apart, they have to machine the rivets out, swap the ring gear, then reassemble the whole transmission. The replacement part with Weaver or Pelican run anywhere from $1,100 to $1,400, and so you have to pay somebody to pull a tranny out, break the tranny down, machine the rivets out, reassemble the ring gear, then reset the bearings and assemble the transmission and put it together. Very costly. What I've been working with, and this is a prototype, is with Traction Concepts out of Florida. They make the Phantom Grip. It's a device that fits in between the spiders. This is the big one for the gear, for the half shafts. That goes in there, and there are two smaller ones. What they've done for the DSG, this is the prototype, we're going to test it. I've already done a lot of fitting. Some of the fitting you have to machine just a little bit off of the surface here to make this block fit in.
Now let's take a look at the steps and see how it's done. First, we're going to look at the stock differential and see the difference before we fit it with the new LSD. Here is the spider gears stock that we will remove a 1/20th of an inch on all the inside of the 4 gears to make the LSD fit. Next, we will look at the axle button. The outside will be turned down a bit to fit inside the LSD. Here is the puller. We remove the parking ring to make room to work and fit the LSD and remove the spider pin. Next, you must grind the small lip off the inside of the big axle spider gear. Then sand them flatter on a belt sander and make them very smooth. Here is a look at the LSD installed before we remove the locking pins. Lastly, here is the differential with the LSD installed and ready to be put back in the transmission. Now let's head back to Dr. Vokes for more information.
And inside the block, these buttons have to be turned down a little bit because they fit in and they can connect the half shafts when it's all put together. So, I'm going to give you a quick show. What they've done at Traction Concept is they removed this plastic shim pack. And they've supplied shims for the smaller spiders, and the bigger ones fit in, cover a lot of area, and it seems to be working fine on other kind of combinations that use this setup. So what is done here is everything's already pretty much shimmed and machined, and I'll show you some of that stuff in a little bit. And I put this all together to pre-fit it. Then this piece has these plates. These is big springs in here. This is shimmed for the amount of horsepower that we're running. And our race car, we run a TDI common rail producing about 240, 230 horsepower plus 300 plus foot-pounds of torque. And our Audi TT road race car. So this was already predetermined for us. And what will end up happening is everything is shimmed together right, and then you kind of put it in, then you drive the pin through, and once the pin's through, then you can pull these little clips and stuff off, and this is ready to go in. So there's no machining of the rivets, there's no machining, swapping out the diff. This one was probably in the $400 range for this one because it was custom built and it was a prototype for testing. Usually they sell them for all kinds of differentials that don't have a limited slip and the $250 range up. There are cheaper ones that are just a plate, which is a copy of this. This was a well-made piece, so I'm quite happy with it. As you can see, the little piece fits right in. After we're all done, we'll pop this out, take the pins, put it back together, and we are good to go racing. So I want to thank the people at Traction Concepts. In the video, you'll see some of the pictures of how I machined the gears on a lathe. One of the things that we got to worry about is this is a locking ring for the transmission for park. When they ask you for a limited slip for one of these jobs, they're going to ask you if there's 21 teeth or 23. You got to take it apart to figure that out. So this is all in that process to do that. I pulled this off with a special puller, but I think one of the things that can be done here is you could grind a little bit of this to get this packet to fit in. So that's something that if you can't pull it apart with a puller, I had to buy a $200 puller to do it, but I needed the puller for other jobs. Or you could heat up the ring enough to pry it off. This ring will get warmed up. After I'm all set, it'll be pushed back on. The other thing is the pin that locks the roll pin. Traction Concept said just take a little tap, go in, put a little bolt in, and then pull it out. It was almost impossible for me. It wasn't possible for me to get it out. I didn't know about the tapping the inner of the roll pin. What I ended up doing was grinding some of this. As you probably will see, there's a little grind mark here. And I took an air chisel and I came in from the other end and I collapsed the roll pin and blew it out and took the pieces out. Because there was really no way for me to get the roll pin out other than the smarter way was to tap it with a very small tap, probably a 4mm or 5mm, put a bolt in, and then put a little piece and you could tighten it down with a little tube and it'll, with a washer, and you'll be able to pull it out. Or a pair of pliers, vice grips, and then pull out the pin and reuse it. They were kind enough, Traction Concept, to give me one because I mangled the other one. So when it's all together, then we'll do a video about how it worked. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions about doing this job, we're going to be doing them in our shop. So let me know, or you can watch how we did it. And good luck. Thank you very much. drvolks.com.